for a squid washed up on the beach, or maybe just a very large, very pale jellyfish. Whatever it was disgusting. Clay had inherited from his brother a fear of anything white and slimy, chiefly mayonnaise. And probably dead. Still, Clay thought, he should take a closer look, just in case it was a live seal or baby whale or other animal that needed to be pushed back into the sea. Only a little, well, a lot, nervous, he stepped up to the mysterious lump and stared in surprise. It wasn't a squid or a jellyfish or a seal or a whale. It was a boy. A boy who looked to be about Clay's age, and who was tangled in seaweed and dripping seawater, as if he had only recently washed up on shore. The boy's hair was full of sand, and his eyes were crusted with salt. His wet shirt had come unbuttoned, revealing a soft, plump belly, and his equally wet pants were torn and bunched up around the knees. He had lost his shoes and one of his socks. Only his black bow tie showed no sign of having been tossed and turned by the ocean. It was still shiny and perfectly tied around his neck until— "Ah!" Clay yelped, startled. The bow tie had moved. For a second he thought the boy had awakened, but then he saw the little purple crab scurrying away across the sand. Clay's heart pounded. He had no idea what to do. "Calm down," Clay told himself. "First things first." "Hey, can you hear me?" Clay managed to ask, his voice hoarse. No reply. Starting to sweat, Clay knelt by the boy's side and put his hand on the boy's cheek. It was cold and clammy. But was it dead clammy, or just clammy? He lifted the boy's wrist and felt for a pulse. He didn't feel one, but that didn't mean anything. He hardly knew what a pulse should feel like. He tried to remember what he knew about CPR. It wasn't much. You were supposed to push on the person's chest, or was it the stomach? And then you were supposed to count to something. And then there was the mouth-to-mouth part. Yikes. He tried pushing the boy's chest a couple of times. Nothing. Desperate, he shook the boy by the shoulders. "Wake up! I mean, if you're alive!" Suddenly, a spray of spit and salt water and vomit hit Clay in the face. He wiped the warm, sour mess off his nose and cheek, almost as relieved as he was disgusted. It was the first time he'd been happy to have somebody throw up on him. Not that anybody had ever thrown up on him before. When the boy's coughing subsided, he opened an eye and squinted at Clay. "Don't tell me some kid beat me up again," he said groggily. "Was it you?" "What? No, I don't even know you." "Then why does my head hurt so bad?" the boy demanded. "And why are you grabbing my shoulder like that?" "Because— Never mind." Embarrassed, Clay let go. "Wait, I'm not at school, am I?" Confused, the boy pushed himself up to a sitting position. He rubbed his eyes and looked around, blinking. "I guess this is one of those good news, bad news situations, huh?" "You really don't know where you are?" Was it possible the boy was as surprised to find himself here as Clay was? The boy shook his head. "No idea, unless—" He looked suspiciously at Clay. "Am I on a reality show?" Clay laughed. "Not that I know of, unless— Are you?" In truth, it was just as likely as any other explanation for the boy's mysterious appearance on the beach. Footnote. Of course, another possibility was that the event had been staged for Clay's benefit. His initiation at Earth Ranch had involved an elaborate weeks-long charade that made him question all levels of reality. But he'd been assured that the initiation was over, and so